You flip the switch, you walk away, but then you hear it, that voice in your head, maybe your grandmother's, maybe your mother's, telling you to leave the bathroom light on, always, no exceptions. You've done it your whole life without question, but have you ever wondered why? What if I told you this simple rule isn't just about convenience or safety? What if it's actually rooted in profound Islamic wisdom that protects you from dangers you can't even see? From which country are you watching this video? If you're ready to discover the hidden spiritual truths behind everyday Islamic practices, hit that subscribe button right now and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Most people think keeping the bathroom light on is just a modern habit, something practical that makes nighttime trips safer. But this practice runs deeper than you could possibly imagine. It connects to ancient Islamic teachings about spiritual protection, the unseen world of jinn, and the sacred responsibility we have to maintain purity in every aspect of our lives. Tonight, we're uncovering the 3 shocking reasons why Islamic tradition has always emphasized keeping light in the most private spaces of our homes. The bathroom isn't just a room in Islamic understanding. It's a battleground between purity and impurity, between the seen and unseen worlds. When you leave that light on, you're not just illuminating tiles and fixtures. You're creating a barrier against forces that have been trying to invade human spaces since the beginning of time itself. The first secret lies in understanding what Islam teaches us about the jinn. These aren't fairy tales or folklore. They're real beings created from smokeless fire, mentioned throughout the Quran and the authentic hadiths of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Unlike humans who are created from clay and angels who are created from light, jinn exist in a realm that intersects with ours but remains largely hidden from our perception. The bathroom, according to Islamic teaching, is one of their favorite dwelling places. Why? Because it's where we are most vulnerable, where we remove our clothes, where we attend to our most basic needs. It's a space of transition and exposure, making it the perfect gateway for these beings to observe and potentially interfere with human life. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, specifically warned us about this in authentic hadiths. He taught us to seek protection before entering the bathroom by reciting specific prayers, because these spaces can harbor spiritual entities that wish us harm. The prayer, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith, translates to, Allah, I seek refuge in you from evil and evil spirits. This wasn't just a suggestion, it was a command for our spiritual safety. But here's where the light becomes crucial. In Islamic cosmology, light represents divine guidance, protection, and the presence of Allah's mercy. Darkness, while not inherently evil, can become a hiding place for those who wish to remain unseen and cause mischief. When you keep the bathroom light on, you're creating what Islamic scholars describe as a spiritual fortress, a protected space where the unseen cannot operate with the same freedom they enjoy in complete darkness. Think about it this way. Jinn prefer to remain hidden, to work in the shadows where they won't be detected. A well-lit space disrupts their ability to move freely and observe without being noticed. It's like installing a security camera in the spiritual realm. Suddenly they know they're being watched, even if we can't see them watching us. This isn't superstition. This is practical spiritual protection based on 14 centuries of Islamic wisdom. The light serves as a constant reminder that this space is under divine protection, that you've taken the necessary precautions to maintain your spiritual safety while attending to physical needs. But the protection goes even deeper than just keeping jinn at bay. Islamic tradition teaches that when we maintain light in these vulnerable spaces, we're also protecting our own spiritual state. We're less likely to let our guard down completely, more likely to remember our prayers and maintain our connection to Allah even in these private moments. The second hidden reason connects directly to one of Islam's most fundamental concepts, tahara, or purification. In Islamic understanding, purification isn't just about physical cleanliness. It's about maintaining a state of spiritual readiness that allows us to approach Allah in prayer and worship. The bathroom is where we perform istinja, the Islamic method of cleansing after using the toilet, and where we perform wudu, the ritual ablution required before prayer. These aren't just hygienic practices. They're sacred acts that prepare our bodies and souls for divine connection. The light plays a crucial role in ensuring these purification rituals are performed correctly and completely. Consider the precision required for proper wudu. Every part of the body must be washed in a specific order, with specific intentions, ensuring that no area is missed. The face, hands, arms, head, and feet all require careful attention to detail. In dim light or darkness, it becomes nearly impossible to verify that the purification has been completed according to Islamic guidelines. A single missed spot can invalidate the entire ablution, meaning your subsequent prayers might not be accepted by Allah. This isn't about being obsessively perfect. It's about showing proper respect for the divine commandments. When Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demonstrated wudu to his companions, he emphasized the importance of thoroughness. He showed them exactly how much water to use, which areas to wash, and how many times to perform each action. Following his example requires clear vision and careful attention to detail. The light also serves a deeper symbolic purpose in the purification process. In Islamic thought, light and water are both symbols of divine mercy and purification. When you perform wudu under proper lighting, you're not just cleaning your body, you're participating in a ritual that combines two of Allah's greatest blessings, the light that allows you to see, and the water that cleanses you physically and spiritually. But there's another aspect of purity that many people overlook: the psychological effect of maintaining cleanliness standards even when no one else is watching. Islam teaches that Allah sees everything, always. When you ensure proper lighting for your private purification rituals, you're demonstrating that your worship isn't just for show. It's a genuine commitment to excellence in your relationship with Allah. Islamic scholars have noted that those who rush through their purification rituals, especially in poor lighting conditions, often develop sloppy habits that can affect their overall spiritual discipline. It's a gradual process. You start cutting corners in private, then those shortcuts begin appearing in your public worship as well. The light serves as a constant reminder to maintain the highest standards, even when you think no one is watching. The third secret reveals perhaps the most profound reason of all. When you keep the bathroom light on, you're fulfilling your role as a guardian of your household's spiritual well-being. This responsibility extends far beyond your own personal protection. It's about creating a spiritually secure environment for everyone who lives under your roof. In Islamic tradition, the head of the household carries the sacred responsibility of protecting their family from both physical and spiritual harm. This concept, known as qawama, isn't about control or dominance. It's about stewardship and protection. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that every person is a shepherd responsible for their flock, and this includes safeguarding against spiritual dangers that family members might not even be aware of. When children grow up in a household where the bathroom light is always on, they're learning by example how to maintain spiritual vigilance. They're absorbing the understanding that there are unseen realities that require our attention and protection. This isn't about frightening them. It's about preparing them for a lifetime of spiritual awareness and responsible Islamic living. The practice also creates what Islamic scholars call a spiritually stable environment. When jinn know that a household maintains consistent protective practices, they're less likely to attempt any interference. It's similar to how burglars avoid houses with obvious security systems. The consistent presence of light signals that this family takes spiritual protection seriously, but the responsibility goes beyond just your immediate family. Islamic tradition teaches that our homes should be places of blessing and peace, not just for ourselves, but for any Muslim who might enter. When you maintain proper lighting in the bathroom, you're ensuring that guests can perform their purification rituals safely and correctly, fulfilling your duty as a host in the Islamic tradition. This principle extends to future generations as well. The habits you establish in your home become the foundation for how your children will manage their own households someday. When they remember growing up in a home where spiritual protection was taken seriously, they're more likely to establish the same protective practices in their own families. Think about the chain reaction this creates. One family's commitment to maintaining spiritual vigilance influences their children. Across generations, this simple practice of keeping the bathroom light on becomes part of a larger tradition of spiritual protection that strengthens the entire Muslim community. The light also serves as a teaching tool. When children ask why the bathroom light is always on, it creates natural opportunities to discuss Islamic beliefs about the unseen world, the importance of spiritual protection, and the wisdom behind Islamic practices that might seem strange to outsiders. These conversations help children develop a mature understanding of their faith that goes beyond just following rules. They begin to understand the spiritual logic behind Islamic teachings. Now, some people might wonder about practical concerns. What about energy costs? What about environmental responsibility? These are valid questions that modern Muslim families need to address thoughtfully. The beauty of Islamic wisdom is that it always provides balance. If keeping a bright light on continuously creates genuine financial hardship for your family, Islamic principles of moderation suggest finding alternative solutions. You might use a small nightlight that provides enough illumination for safety and spiritual purposes without creating an excessive energy burden. The key is maintaining the spiritual principle while adapting the practical application to your circumstances. Some families have found that motion sensor lights work well. They provide immediate illumination when someone enters the space while conserving energy when the room is unoccupied. Others use LED bulbs that consume minimal energy while providing adequate light. The specific technology isn't what matters. It's the commitment to maintaining spiritual protection and proper conditions for purification rituals. Islamic environmental teachings also remind us that we're stewards of Allah's creation, responsible for avoiding waste and excess. The goal is finding a solution that honors both our spiritual protection needs and our environmental responsibilities. This might mean investing in more efficient lighting technology, or it might mean being more mindful about other areas of energy consumption to balance the bathroom light usage. What this practice ultimately reveals is the profound, holistic nature of Islamic living. Islam doesn't separate spiritual life from practical life. It integrates them into a complete system that addresses every aspect of human existence. The bathroom light isn't just about convenience, or even just about spiritual protection. It's about living with constant awareness of Allah's presence and your responsibilities as a Muslim. This awareness transforms every mundane activity into an opportunity for spiritual growth. When you enter the bathroom and see that light, you're reminded to recite the protective prayer. When you perform wudu under proper lighting, you're reminded to do it with excellence and attention to detail. When you leave the light on for others, you're reminded of your responsibility to protect and serve your family and community. The practice also demonstrates Islam's practical approach to spiritual protection. Rather than leaving believers to figure out complex spiritual defenses on their own, Islamic tradition provides simple, concrete actions that anyone can follow. You don't need special training or advanced spiritual knowledge. You just need the willingness to follow the guidance that has been preserved for 14 centuries. This is why Islamic traditions have survived and thrived for so long. They provide practical solutions to real spiritual challenges, solutions that any Muslim family can implement regardless of their economic status, education level, or cultural background. The bathroom light is universal protection that costs almost nothing but provides immense spiritual benefits. Starting tonight, you can transform this simple practice into a cornerstone of your family's spiritual protection routine. Begin by explaining to your household members why you're keeping the bathroom light on consistently. Share the Islamic wisdom behind the practice so everyone understands they're participating in something sacred, not just following an arbitrary rule. Establish the habit of reciting the bathroom prayer every time you enter, using the light as a visual reminder. Teach your children the prayer and help them understand why it's important. Make it part of your family's Islamic education, connecting this practice to the broader principles of spiritual protection and awareness. Consider upgrading to energy-efficient lighting if cost is a concern, but don't let practical worries prevent you from implementing spiritual protection. Remember that the small cost of keeping a light on is insignificant compared to the spiritual benefits and protection it provides for your entire household. Most importantly, use this practice as a launching point for deeper Islamic learning. Research more about the spiritual aspects of daily life in Islam. Study the authentic hadiths about spiritual protection. Develop a more comprehensive understanding of how Islamic teachings address every aspect of human existence. The bathroom light might seem like a small thing, but it represents something much larger. Your commitment to living as a conscious, protected, spiritually aware Muslim in a world full of unseen challenges and opportunities. So tonight, when you flip that switch and leave the light on, remember that you're not just illuminating a room. You're activating a shield of spiritual protection, maintaining sacred space for purification rituals, and fulfilling your responsibility as a guardian of your household's spiritual well-being. You're participating in a tradition that connects you to 14 centuries of Islamic wisdom and to millions of Muslim families around the world who understand that true security comes from following the guidance of Allah and His Messenger, peace be upon him. What other everyday practices in your home carry hidden Islamic wisdom? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more discoveries about the spiritual secrets hidden in plain sight throughout our daily lives.